Hey everybody, welcome to Shyzabox, the most #1 unbiased show about Xbox on the Interzones. That's right, let's go ahead and kick back and let's get this show started. So of course we usually have a sponsor. Well, we don't usually have a sponsor. We have a place for a sponsor, and alas, we don't have one. Surprising, all of those other big Xbox fans out there that want an unbiased news source, this is the place to come to for it, because we are obviously such huge Xbox fans here that we can kind of just go into everything about them without worrying about any of the BS that you get with these other biased reviewers or channels out there and things like that. So without further ado, like we said, let's kick the show off. No sponsor, they're missing out. All ones of our viewers, hey, Mom. We'll, be checking this out and everything, so let's go from there. So, of course, the first story that we got for you today is Gamepass, and, of course, this is going to be a little old for some of you. They raised their prices again. Surprise, surprise. Now, we would be remiss without at least talking about how PlayStation, when they raise their prices, it's usually justified or warranted because you're going to be getting that extra oomph with the PlayStation console. Now, when Xbox, Microsoft, Game Pass, when they raise their prices, you really start to think like, wow, they're kind of just taking more money out of my pocket, dollar after dollar, month after month, and it kind of takes its toll. But that's why we here at Shyzabox want to remain neutral and have zero bias towards, anything at all. And we try to not let our Xbox bias kind of shine through and ring out, because, of course, this whole show is centered around Xbox in a completely unbiased way. So, with that being the case, Game Pass raised their prices. It's unfortunate when you think of companies like, Sony or PlayStation raising their prices on stuff. Like we said, you usually garner a bigger return on your financial investment. With Xbox, Microsoft, Game Pass, not really the case. Like, yeah, sure, you're gonna be playing stuff and maybe having some fun and some good times, but you're paying money. So when you're paying money to Xbox and you're putting that money into Game Pass, you're pretty much telling these gaming studios you don't like their product because you don't want to buy it, you only want to subscribe to a subscription service. So really, everyone in that Game Pass ecosystem that, harbors those feelings of, I don't want to support the game industry, I only want to enroll in Game Pass, you got to take a big, deep, internal look at yourself and everything that you're doing. So that's all we have to say about Game Pass itself raising their prices. It's costing more money, and, we just had to shed some light in it in a completely unbiased way to kind of just let everyone know they're taking more money from you every month that you're giving them money. So there you go. Now let's go ahead and move into our next segment we got planned for you today, and that is we are going to be talking about some of our most favorite characters and things of that nature. Now, like we said, we're going to keep this strictly centered around everything Xbox, because us here at Shyzabox, that's all we're about, obviously. So let's go ahead. We got a list in here, actually, a little folder. Some of our most favorite characters and things of that nature. Okay, so, obviously, yes, Crash Bandicoot. We can play that on Xbox, obviously. So that's where we're going to kind of play that. It's on Game Pass. The Insane Trilogy. You can't beat that. And that's why it's so great to go with Xbox. So, other great characters, there's not really a lot. We could sit here and talk about other platforms where there's characters like, and we don't want to even just bring up Sony and PlayStation, but it's kind of hard to stay neutral and unbiased here without at least bringing them into the mix, because when you have the Insane Trilogy that you can play on PlayStation 2, why would you want to play it on Xbox? That's a question a lot of people have to kind of ask themselves when they go to play it. Is this the platform I want to play it on, or do I want to buy the PS5 Pro, get those increased kind of specs, upgrades, extra storage space, capabilities to start putting stuff together and revisiting your roots from like kinetics and Legos and everything that tiddlywinks that you would have to put together yourself. It really brings you back to the roots because you have to buy those external peripherals like the stand, the disk drive, the things like that, man, and it really adds to the experience that you are putting together one of the most powerful and greatest things ever created, which is the PS5 Pro, obviously. And it really does suck that, you know, Xbox, and like we said, us here at Shyzabox, completely unbiased, you know, they're skipping this mid-generational tier upgrade in an attempt to actually release a better console and system further down. It's like, well, that's great, and yes, we're excited for it and everything, but Sony's going to have a PS5 Pro on the market sometime. And, you know, you got to kind of, you know, decide, do I want to wait for a better console, potentially, when Xbox rolls it out of the gates? Or do I want to go ahead and sell off all of my Xbox stuff and invest in the PlayStation ecosystem? But us here at Shyzabox, we're of course completely biased towards Xbox and everything. And so, you know, we just got to bring the hard-hitting truth and facts in regards of everything pertaining to that. So, other characters we have listed. You know, like we said, we didn't want to talk about the other you know, platforms out there. But Spider-Man, that's just off the top of our head. Spider-Man is one of the characters that you can't play on Xbox, and you actually have to kind of go over and play it on PlayStation, which is fine because every Xbox owner should actually prefer to play Spider-Man on PlayStation because that's kind of where it is. So when you're thinking of characters and you're like, oh, Crash Bandicoot, it's on Game Pass, I can pay money to play it there. Or you can buy a PS5 Pro, get the disc drive, get your physical copy on PS5, and put it into the PS5 Pro after you attach the vertical stand and set it up so it looks good. After you do that, you're good to rock and roll. And then you can still play Spider-Man. And if it's on disc and you have that disc peripheral attached to your PS5, you're good to go. Like, you know, your PS5 Pro, you're good to go. So, you know, like we said, you know, you got to really examine where you want to play these characters at and stuff. And in a completely unbiased light, you can play them on Xbox if you choose to go that route, which sometimes, you know, that's the route to go. And that's the route we go, us here, but we are biased towards Xbox. And, you know, we kind of have an affinity. We kind of like Xbox a little more than PlayStation. So, you know, we don't want that to come out and kind of bleed through into the content that we produce. But it is something that we struggle with on a regular basis. Anytime that we talk about PlayStation, it's like, hope we're not being too hard on those guys and everything like that. Because us here at Shyzabox, we're big Xbox dudes. It's an Xbox channel show, you know, and it's just what we strive for. So, thanks for tuning in today. We had a great time. We hope you did too. Probably going to go play some PS5. We'll catch you next time. Till then.